Oh, though it might sound a little cruel, you never can tell what happens on a robbery. And these poor little girls at drive-through windows is what I'm talking about. I've only seen one incident so far, I believe, unless it was two incidents of oh man, my stomach. Of somebody jumping through a drive-through window, beating a girl, and taking the money. I have the perfect solution. All you need is a hot plate that sets out of the eyesight of the window. Just where the frame of the window goes by, you have a little part on the counter with a hot plate and some grease. And you let that grease, it don't have to be where it takes your skin off. It just has to be a deterrent. So when he jumps through that window, almost like when she pulls the fries out of a deep fryer, it could be one of those things. Because he deserves to get whatever he's going to get now. Let them have that. In case somebody wants some fries or something warmed up at the last minute and stuff. This is probably basically the idea of what it was for in the first place. If you know, managers and owners of the restaurant, have those fries or that grease cooking all the time. So when somebody jumps through that window, gun or not, you sling that grease on them and see how far he comes through that window. If he's going to come through the window or if he's going to try to get his ass out of the window. That will solve any robbery, random robbery at a drive-through window, 3 o'clock in the morning or whatever time in the morning. Someone has the nerve to climb through there and beat an innocent girl in the face with a pistol. You have, if it was me, I wouldn't even say nothing to the managers. I'd bring my own hot plate and grease and say, I don't know how he got scalded with grease, but here's your money. He didn't take any money, boss. I bet you, I guarantee you, nobody will ever jump through a drive-through window in life again. And chances are, you'll be able to catch him somewhere down the street trying to get that hot grease off his face. This is a deterrent that they would use in Chicago with no second thought. A place like Leon's Ribs or Harold's Chicken, they don't play. You jump through something, they're gonna throw some hot grease on your ass, and I guarantee you, any law enforcement gonna say, man, you did what you had to do. Non-lethal force for lethal force against you. What do you think about that idea? Are we too civilized now up here to throw hot grease on somebody that had a gun, beating an innocent girl in the head, taking money that didn't even amount up to $1,000? Are we too civilized for that? Maybe so in Phoenix, but it wouldn't work in Chicago. I'm telling you, man, they are some, what do you call that when you're stuck on the road and something breaks and you figure out a way to put some pantyhose around some pulleys and make a fan belt to get you to the service station to buy a real fan belt. It's being smart for one, but it's a word for it. Are we too civilized in Phoenix to do stuff like that now? How come nobody ever thought of that? How come nobody ever thought of having a taser? And I'm gonna get back on this VA with these following service-connected income. I don't want you to think that it is not up front and foremost with me. I talked to someone else today at the VA, and he told me to call my congressman, which I did, and emailed him. So I have no confidence in that method or of a response, because I feel like I'm too little to talk to somebody so important. That's just how I feel. So I have to apologize to Facebook and YouTube, because they did me a great favor by putting this on, but I don't want them to think that I was ranting and raving about something and now I'm talking about something else. It's always on my mind. I walked to the VA today as far as I could walk, and to get some medicines for my leg. And you see, I'm sitting up here. You see how my legs are, don't you? They're real bad. And so if I'm not in pain or if I'm not angry, it's one thing or another. But I'm constantly trying to do something for humanity. I'm constantly trying to do something for a city that's fucking me every turn. I even came up the other day with my own fundraising, but heard no response from that. And that's something else I'm gonna talk about in a few minutes. But have some hot grease and some French fries, so you can nibble on at night or something. You can say it for anything. The minute somebody jump through that window trying to rob you, throw that hot grease on him and see how far he get in. See if you get in trouble or get fired, depending on who you work for. And if sometimes we get too civilized, you're supposed to take a beating rather than to do bodily harm to somebody that did bodily harm to you, seems like to me in a lot of cases. But in Chicago, jump through a window and try to rob somebody and see if they don't throw some hot grease on your ass or some lead. But we don't want to kill nobody. We just don't want to be beaten so severely where we got brain damage and we can't even work at a fast food place anymore. So I'm telling you, a problem solver right there. Throw some hot grease on his ass and see if he or any of his friends have the idea, because it seems like it's becoming a trend now. It's easy to get away. If you come up random and rob somebody, climb through the window, most people, unless you just unlucky enough to push past and over the hood of an unmarked police car, your ass can get away with it. Throw some hot grease on him and see how far you get. And just the fear of that, or just some boiling water, just keep it on the hot plate for your tea, so you won't catch a cold from all the people you talk to. Whatever excuse you want to use, I think it's a good idea. Just like I thought it was a good idea for a ring to have only one function, is when it got wet, it tells you your baby is in the water, drowning in the pool. Come get him, pull him out, and you won't even have to do CPR. I think it was a good idea for the bike I made, though it caused me more damage. This glitter I can never get rid of, and it gets into these pores of my wound, and it's driving me crazy, along with the hair that's under my skin. Was a good idea. The bike is at the pawn shop now, and I'm still cleaning up glitter from just the idea that I want to help the community. I think it was a good idea, the random mauling of the 60-year-old lady, to have a taser to save her own life and show that dog who was the boss in charge. Because the only thing that dog wanted to do, and it's your fault for wanting to cage everything that you get, if it ain't a dolphin, if it ain't a killer whale, if it ain't buttercup, anybody, is they get tired of that shit. So if she would have had a taser, she would have been alive today. I think that those three things, those three ideas, and I'm going to call Inventec again today and see if they can send me a paper or something where I can have some kind of format where I can explain everything through email or something. Because when I talked to him last, I was kind of confused about that. And matter of fact, I was a little suicidal too. And I told the guy, I said, look, man, why don't you just take the idea and run with it? And the man wanted me to just keep on with the idea. He said, no, man, go, man, I think it's a good idea. And for some reason, I guess they can't, anything they hear, they can't take it on their self to say it was their idea. I said, man, I don't care. You know, it's your idea. Just tell somebody, because I don't even feel like I want to be here. I was feeling real bad. So those three ideas come along with one more. A drive-through window, keep you some hot grease on a hot plate, or keep you some hot water for your tea when your throat get a little, you know, so you can talk over the microphone. Keep you some hot tea boiling, and when somebody jumps through that window, give them some hot tea or give them some grease. I guarantee you'll go home without your head having all kind of knots on it, and you might not have brain damage the day after. Thank you.